Hey guys, welcome back to the Crypto Corner, your crypto connection. Today's date is Monday, April 8th, 2019, and I want to pop in today to make a quick video and discuss some recent price action and developments that's happened over the past few days, and get what your guys' take is. Before we begin, though, I got to pop in and say just the little disclaimer that seems like everybody has to put on their videos nowadays. None of this is financial advice, so please take everything I say with a grain of salt, and please just make your own decisions based off what you hear here, as well as other posts and vlogs and articles that you read about. So please make your own decisions. This is not financial advice. Okay, maybe I ought to make like a little sticky that goes on the bottom of my videos so I don't have to say this every single time, because that's pretty ridiculous. You know, everybody's so sue happy these days. You almost have to protect yourself. So anyway, let's look at today's action. So we talked about in the last video how we are developing these zones, zone 1, 2, and 3, and we can see we bottomed out here in December, middle of December. And I say bottomed out, I mean bottomed out as far as the midterm. Do I think that we have bottomed out? Bottomed out? Getting very conflicting data right now. I don't know if we have. I'm starting to believe that this was our bottom. Originally I did not believe that, but I'm kind of starting to change my opinion a little bit that possibly this was our bottom. So the 30, 31, 32 $100 range for Bitcoin, and we are looking at the Coinbase one-day chart right now. So anyway, we made a slow, steady rise up, since the middle of December, right? And my computer is really laggy right now, so hopefully all that recorded okay. Maybe I have too many things opened up down here at the bottom. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. So we've been making a slow, steady climb up, and then we had this parabolic $1,000 candle that hardly anybody saw coming, and shot price action up when we basically skipped the $4,000 range, honestly. I mean, we were flirting with $4,000 down here all through March. Late February, and then we just basically blew right past $4,000, which is not really healthy, to be honest with you, and it's raising some red flags for me. So what I want to talk about is, since this parabolic candle that we had back on the 1st of April, we have been slowly grinding up. Okay, so we are looking at daily candles here. If we go to the 4-hour, we can kind of get a little bit better idea of what's going on. So what I'm seeing in this right now is we are starting to form a rising wedge. Okay, so if we take that bottom line, we go candle body to candle body, and then, man, my computer is really horrible today. I probably need to restart this after I get off the stream here. But you can see what we are starting to form here. Okay. Some people are calling this a bull flag. I'm going to say this is a rising wedge. Okay. You can see higher high, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low, higher low. However, the channel is not parallel with each other. You could construe this as a bull flag. If I said bear flag earlier, I meant bull flag. I guess I'm just so used to saying bear flag in the past almost a year that it's maybe just ingrained in my memory now. But anyway, some people are saying, okay, this is a bull flag. Very possibly could be. I'm starting to see it as a rising wedge, which per classical technical analysis, as Crypto Kirby says, most of the time is a bearish sign. So you'll bounce through in areas like this, and once you reach the apex of this area, you usually have a break to the downside. Okay, now if it was a falling wedge, if it was the opposite way, that's when you typically will get a break to the upside. Okay. So that's my opinion. I think that's what we're facing. I think once we get closer to this apex here, we're going to have a break to the downside. How much of a downside? I'm not 100% positive on this, but I have a theory. And again, I could be wrong on this. So let's go back to the daily. If we take a trend line and we go back to, I'll call it the normal trend line. I don't know if that even exists, but let's call it this. Let's call it a normal trend line. This was like a normal type of uptrend that we are kind of going off of. We came down here after our bottom, our midterm bottom in the middle of December. We came down and bounced off of this trend line. We kind of started this trend line back around the 1st of February, which was around the 3,300 mark. We came out and I'll call this a retest right here. That's within just, $50 or so, $30. We retested this trend line here the beginning of March. Came down, retested it again March 26th, and then we of course had our massive shot up. Now this white trend line that's going down, this is our massive bear market trend line. This is the one that we started way back in 2017, 2018. So that's the one we popped right through it. So what I could see us doing is coming down. What I would love to see us do, what would be, I think, very healthy for this market, is to see us fall down and retest this trend line right here. Okay, confirm it as support. If we have another touch here, so we'd have one touch here, another touch here, another touch here, another touch here. See how equally spaced these are? That's a very bullish thing. Okay, so, and I think that would be extremely healthy, because look at one thing I want you guys to look at is look at this RSI right here. I mean, we are so over bought right now on the daily. It's, we're at 87, guys. I mean, anything above 70 is overbought. We are so overbought right now, it's ridiculous. We cannot sustain this. There's no way we can sustain this. Either one of two things. Either one, we need to kind of just consolidate out through here. Just kind of chill out and let this RSI get back down to the area that it wants to be. Bitcoin and other charts, they like to be right in the middle, because this area here gives the Bitcoin or whatever coin you're looking at or whatever commodity you're looking at, it gives it room to grow. When you're up this high, we're out of steam. We don't have a lot of juice left in the tank. We got to come back down here and go to the gas station and get filled back up with some fuel to be able to move to the upside or possibly down to the downside. Another thing, look at the stochastic RSI. Our stochastics are really high. We are currently now at a 94 on our stochastics. Again, super high. We cannot sustain this. We need to be in the middle of the road here to have fuel to be able to move wherever we need to move to. So I would say what I would like to see is a break of this ascending wedge, come down, and we could retest this $4,400 range. Depends on where this wedge breaks out. We could come down around this area here. Even the top of this green box here, the $4,500 range, that would be a great area to come down and call that a touch. And it may take a while. It may take a while for it to break down. So by the time it gets down there, it may be around the $4,400 mark to retest this trend line. Which brings me to another interesting point. If you click on the 4-hour, one thing that's kind of giving me a red flag right now is we were showing signs of some distribution right now. And what I mean by that is, if you look at price action, you can see our price action is going higher and higher and higher. And let me see if I can draw this out for you. So our price action is moving up, okay? And if you look on our stochastics are going down. Our RSI is going down. And if you were to add the MACD indicator, let's get rid of the stochastic. MACD, some people call it the Mac Daddy. So let's add the MACD indicator on here, and we'll also show signs. This is probably the clearest one you can see, is that we are showing definitely bearish divergence here. Okay, so typically you want your price action to also be reflected the same in some of your other indicators. Okay, so we are showing some massive divergence. This is angling down, this is angling up, so that's typically a sign of some distribution, which typically means that you're going to have price retracing. Okay, so be very careful here, guys. Be very cautious. It's showing divergence on everything. I don't know if it's showing on the daily. It's not showing on the daily yet. On everything from the 4 hour down, it is showing this divergence. Okay, so be cautious here. We may have a little bit more room to go up. Yeah, I would be surprised if we got up much higher, got it above the $5,500 range. You know, we're going to face some resistance over here on this side. See this area right here? That's going to give us some resistance here. So if we do climb up here higher, I believe that we would probably get rejected here, even though that's not much of a resistance. But I think with us being basically out of fuel on the RSI, I could see that being just enough resistance to push us back down, and possibly that could be our retest of our trend line. But something else that's interesting is if you throw on some EMAs and you go back to the daily here. So this is there's 3 different moving averages here. Okay, there's the 50, the 100, and the 200 day. Okay, we're on the daily time frame here, so each one of these EMAs is in the day format. So again, 50, 100, and 200. So you can look at the area that I want you to look at is this red line right here, and hopefully you guys can see this through my red box that I have here. But look at this red line, okay, as it's tracing down the 200 day. We are currently above the 200 day, but what's interesting is if we do start retracing down, look where this trend line is following here. Okay, if we did retrace down here, look where it could potentially end up in this region right here we were just talking about. Okay, so the 200-day moving average right now is right at the $4,500 mark. Now what's interesting is look at this 50. This 50-day moving average line. It's curling up, and it looks like it's wanting to find a match. It's wanting to marry up. It's wanting to cross with this 200. And if we kind of project this out a little bit, let's kind of experiment out a little bit. So if we continue this line out a little bit, and this line continues on its path it's on right now, look where the area it's going to cross. It's this area we have been talking about this whole time, this $4,400, $4,500, $4,600 mark. That would be a great place to maybe set some longs, okay, or buy in if you're not trading on BitMEX or leverage trading. So that's the area, me personally, that's the area that I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at this area right here, this $44, $45, $4,600 mark. I'm looking at this area right now. I'm hoping that we get a nice good retest or a retrace down to this area. We touch this area, then I believe if we can come down and test this area, consolidate out, touch this trend line that we talked about earlier, then continue higher, that would be extremely bullish in my opinion. Okay. Now the one thing that would be a bearish scenario is if we do come down, we test this area and we fall lower. Okay. If we lose this trend line here, now I think that would be extremely bearish, and I think we would be heading down to at least retest this $3,100, $3,200 range. Now that would be bearish. Now with that being said, I think we are going to retest this line. Okay, it'd be very surprising to me that we did not have a double bottom in this quote-unquote bear market down here. Okay, I don't know if you could even really count this as a double bottom. I mean, this bottom here was 33, this was 31. I mean, possibly, right? But what I would like to see, I would like to see us retest very close down to this region right here. That would be show that would be the floor of our bear market. Because what's interesting is if you go back, let me pull up another chart here, add a little bit more data. If you go back to Bitcoin on the Bitstamp chart, and you go back and you look at the 2014-2015 bear market, what I want to show you is exactly what happened last time. I apologize for the lag here, but so you can see here that we came down and we retested this, or we came down and this was our capitulation bottom. Okay, we came up, we touched once here, we touched twice here, we touched thrice here. So we're having multiple touches of a floor. Okay, we just don't have that right now. So okay, so let's do something here. So if we call this our capitulation candle down, that brought us down to 3100. We had to retrace up a little bit, and then we kind of formed, let's call it a new bottom right here. Okay, but we established that as the floor so many different times. Okay, that was a good indication of when the bear market was ending. A couple other things that we had a golden cross. You know, we had the 50 and 200 cross. I believe it was right here. Okay, so we had multiple touches. We had a price surge, and then we had a good golden cross here. Our true golden cross was here, but this was a good indication. Okay, it's getting very close. So really watch that 50 and 200 moving average. Watch for that golden cross, which we're curling up, guys. I think we're probably getting fairly close. But keep a close eye on that. Okay, so you can see this is we're curling. Here's our 50 and here's our 200. So we're curling up. I mean, I think if another month or so, we could be having a golden cross. So let's let you know our capitulation candle down, just like our last over in 2014, 2015, came up, kind of formed, let's say, a new higher low. Okay, so remember how we had a little bit higher of a low on the last chart. So what I would love to see is come down here and at least retest this 33 mark. Let's retest this. Let's show it a floor, or come down to the $3,100 range. If we come down to the $3,400 range, that would be, and we get a reaction off of it, that would be extremely bullish. That's where I think a lot of people would go long. So keep a very close eye on that. If you guys have any questions, if you guys disagree with this, please leave it in the comments below. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Do you guys think that this bear market is over? Do you think that we are in the process of going down further? I like to listen to other people's opinions. I don't necessarily agree with every single person's opinion, but what I like to do is I like to listen to what everybody else says, formulate my own opinion based on what everybody else is saying, and go from there. Oops, I just did that. I didn't want to do that. So if you guys have a different point of view, please, by all means, leave them in the comments below. There are a lot of good analysts and traders that are out there, and a lot of good people that have very good theories. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video.